after like roughly 3 years of not talking, how we can't just bury it all at once. It's going to take a long time.
My biggest question since season 1 has been what happened at their wedding or leading up to their wedding that led to this rift? Because the wedding is referred to quite a bit. Is there anything that you guys remember leading up or at the wedding that happened that was like, that was the point where everything turned?
So I think a lot of it was my mom trying to make it her wedding almost. It was at her place. She had what she wanted to do. She's just, really excited. And I feel like that happens a good amount of times.
Oh, yeah.
But she probably went a little overboard, and Olivia definitely felt that way. Bad communications. I mean, I don't know exactly, but this is kind of what I've gotten from it. Just a whole bunch of things like that led up to a lot of frustrated and bad communications, just people not saying what they're going to do, doing things differently, doing things other people didn't want to do.
Well, and so much happened at the wedding and there was that was when Hurricane Michael came through, and it was an extremely stressful time. We didn't have power until like an hour before the wedding.
Wow.
And that happened like 3 days. So we went like 3 days with no power, had to cook. There was like so much stress. And so I feel like a lot of people's true colors came out at that time, whereas like, oh shoot, that's not exactly how I thought they were, whatever. So in all the stress, then things just kind of got brought up, and like that's kind of when everything got exposed, and like it just didn't turn out how everybody expected it to turn out.
Yeah.
And being a bride, I kind of understand. Like I can't imagine all that going down on my wedding. I would probably lose it too. So
do you guys, as you're very much the middle ground in the family, do you want to see them bury the hatchet and forgive your parents, and vice versa, have your parents forgive them?
Yes. I mean, ultimately that would be the ideal situation. I don't see that happening anytime soon. And part of me is also like, if it happens, that's going to look weird too. Like how is that going to happen? After how long have Ethan and Olivia been married? 2018, so 3 years?
I think so.
About 3 years? Mm-hmm. After like roughly 3 years of not talking, how we can't just bury it all at once. It's going to take a long time.
What do you think would need to happen for that to happen?
I think pretty much
do you have any idea?
Would change.
There's not really like one thing that would have to happen. Okay. I feel like time is going to be the biggest thing. Maybe a little bit of growing on everyone's end, and just realizing that grudges aren't the best. But I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. It's been like this for so long that it's like, what would a different life look like? What would a perfect family look like?
I just can't personally wrap my mind around them getting along. Like that's just so far-fetched to me, I'm not saying it'll never happen, and I have a feeling like if they got to the point where I was like, yeah, we can talk again, I have a feeling there would still be some of, clashing and,
That's normal for every household, but.
Oh yeah. I mean, you and I.
Sometimes it feels like they're way more accepting of you and Max than Ethan and Olivia. Do you understand that? Do you think that because of what happened with Ethan and Olivia, they're more accepting of you and Max? Does that make sense?
I think, yes. I think that it's a lot of different things. One being Max and I kind of established who we were and then went back to my parents. Mm-hmm. We didn't necessarily give them room to step in and control or give their advice or whatever. And I think that they more look at us as two adults making our own decisions, making our own mistakes, and it's not in their hands anymore. But to me, like, that sucks because I wish that Ethan and Olivia could have had the same thing, you know? So
I kind of feel like the whole family was in a different place then, though. So even if they were, it wouldn't have turned out the same like you and Max.
That's so true. Yeah. So Yeah, that's a good question, because I think about that all the time. I'm just like, why do they accept Max and I, and they, you know, didn't for Ethan and Olivia, and why did things turn out for them in the complete opposite as Max and I? So